Anthony Joshua's gigantic.
So big.
He's so big. He's so much bigger. Bro, he got hit with a bomb and breaks his jaw in 2 places. Don't do this very long, because there's a price that you pay that is not worth it.
So here's the reality. Jake Paul just got his career ended, and everyone saw it happen in real time.
All it takes is one punch to completely ruin your life.
This whole thing went down December 19th at the Kaseya Center in Miami, streaming live on Netflix. They marketed it as legitimate heavyweight boxing with actual rules and serious stakes. That marketing mattered because when Anthony Joshua systematically dismantled him and shattered his jaw in multiple places, all the retirement whispers suddenly became the only logical next step.
Ultimately, the big win for him would be that he was even willing to do it, and that he could do well for a little bit. Yeah, and then eventually just deal with the fact that Anthony Joshua is going to connect with a bomb.
Anthony Joshua put him on the canvas 4 separate times. 2 drops in round 5, 2 more in round 6. This wasn't some lucky punch or split-second mistake. This was methodical destruction, watching a fighter get systematically dismantled until the referee couldn't let it continue. When you can't defend yourself anymore, retirement stops being speculation and starts being survival.
Style that would align with a ring that size, a negative style as we mentioned. It really comes down to the fan interest. Jake Paul is on a 2-fight stretch coming into this one, which really put his reputation on the line.
What happened next sealed everything permanently. Confirmed double jaw fracture, broken on both sides. Straight to the hospital, no stopping for interviews because talking was physically impossible. Emergency surgery, liquid meals, metal wires holding everything together. Once you're dealing with that kind of structural damage, retirement isn't about ego or feelings anymore. It's pure medical necessity.
28 years old, 29 next month. Don't do this very long, because there's a price that you pay that is not worth it. It's not worth it. And that price is depression, deep depression, a severe brain imbalance that's going to lead you to addiction.
Think about the contrast here. Before the bell, he's selling himself as unstoppable. After the final bell, he's counting recovery months and getting nutrition through a straw. Marketing can't fix broken bones. Height can't rebuild facial structure. Reality hit harder than any punch ever could.
300 million plus in his boxing career. How old is Jake Paul?
He'll be 29 and
look at that. So he's 28 years old, 29 next month.
The moment a fighter leaves that ring, unable to speak, unable to eat solid food, unable to pretend the damage isn't real, boxing makes the retirement decision for them. That night changed everything because physical reality spoke louder than any promotional campaign ever managed.
It leads so many people to impulsive behavior. So many people become gambling addicts, drug addicts, alcoholics after their fighting career. It's you could only take so much.
The boxing community responded immediately and brutally honestly. Former champions and respected analysts didn't sugarcoat anything. They called it exactly what it was, a complete mismatch that exposed every weakness at once. No emotion, just cold correction. Like the sport finally stopped being polite about obvious truths.
Just everything that's happened in my life, like I was taking L's after L, and I just mean that in that sense. I don't mean it just by like success.
Duke McKenzie broke down the technical disaster piece by piece. Jake's punches came from desperation. His balance crumbled under any pressure. He literally stumbled over his own movement, reaching upward and whiffing because he couldn't physically reach Joshua's target zone. Every flaw that got hidden against weaker opposition got dragged into harsh spotlight all at once.
Jake Paul tried to throw a shot. He would lunge in, jump in, and because he was so short, he'd miss. And then he ended up stumbling over his feet and falling over. Sometimes in that fight, it reminded me of, have you seen that Kung Fu film called The Drunken Master?
Michael Bisping highlighted Joshua's composure throughout. No rushing, no recklessness, just calculated power and strategic patience. Jake never created a single moment of concern. No wobbles, no panic responses, no adjustments needed. The skill gap stayed crystal obvious from opening exchanges through final stoppage.
You know, when you're young, you think that you can live forever and you think that you're invincible until something happens. We also happened to Muhammad Ali. So there's a deeper story here, is that life's a marathon, not a sprint. So whether it's fighting, whether it's your lifestyle, whether it's money, You're going to be 30, you're going to be 40, you're going to be 50, and PBD, you snap your fingers, boom. Just like that, you're going to be 60.
The statistics don't lie because numbers ignore hype completely. Joshua connected on 48 shots while Jake managed just 16. That's not competitive boxing, that's basic survival mathematics. Joshua never overcommitted, never took unnecessary risks, just waited for openings and capitalized exactly when needed.
And at a certain, like that one that he got from Joshua, ooh, you know, say if you have like a punch card, you have like so many punches that you can get in your life, which I believe you do. I believe there's a certain number. That one was like 10 bunches.
Everything shifted to one simple question afterward. This stopped being about boxing skills and became about how long Jake could physically survive before his body quit on him. The discussion moved past wins and losses straight to whether he ever deserved to be in there from the start.
He weighed 216, but he doesn't even have abs, right? At 216, he could easily weigh 190.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could make 190.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua's gigantic. He's so big. He's so much bigger. So of course, like,
The strategy revealed everything before the knockout even happened. Massive 22-foot ring, constant backward movement, straight line retreating instead of lateral boxing. This wasn't ring generalship. This was organized evacuation with gloves attached. Clinching became his primary response. Wrestling moves inside a boxing match, grabbing and collapsing into the referee repeatedly. Experts didn't call it tactical. They called it pure desperation masked as strategy.
if he wasn't a YouTuber, people would be way more impressed with him.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
No attempts at winning rounds, no sustained offensive combinations, no pressure sequences whatsoever. One objective ruled everything. Avoid serious damage, make the fight last, create respectable optics. The visual was devastating. Heavyweight boxing reduced to high-budget survival theater. Commentators openly mocked what they witnessed, because ignoring it became impossible. This was someone running for dignity, not competing for victory. The consensus formed quickly and never wavered. Jake understood he couldn't win, so he came to endure, collect payment, and escape with minimal damage. Except even that plan failed completely.
There's a clip of you on the ground after hit you say, wow.
Can someone start posting content?
Joe Rogan said what everyone else was dancing around, and he delivered it without any diplomatic packaging, called it a devastating reality check, and told Jake Paul to retire immediately. Not eventually, not after one final payday, right now. Rogan wasn't responding as some bitter critic or internet troll. He was responding as someone who's witnessed fighters pay for accumulated damage decades down the road.
They put your teeth back in when they pop out like that, or are they gone forever?
I don't know. But this shit's wired shut for like 6 weeks now.
He discussed cumulative brain trauma, like watching a countdown timer, because that's exactly what it represents. Every concussion builds on the last one. Every major shot permanently removes something you'll never recover. That Joshua connection wasn't just another mark on some scorecard. Rogan described it as absorbing multiple concussions simultaneously. One impact that burns through years of neural reserves instantly.
Is that 96 million or whatever worth you having brain damage for the rest of your life? And this is the thing, that this is, to me, besides the Tyson Fury's brother, this is, you're going up against a real fighter. This guy, if that boxer punches you in the face in the street, that's assault with a deadly weapon. He's a trained...
That jaw fracture became everyone's symbol for stopping the pretense completely. Medical experts and analysts explained this extended far beyond facial damage. When jawbones fracture bilaterally, that force doesn't politely stop at the break point. It transfers directly inward. Brain trauma doesn't announce itself with immediate headlines. It emerges later as memory problems, emotional instability, severe depression, impulse control disorders. Rogan discussed fighters descending into addiction after careers filled with its, exactly like that one. Gambling problems, substance abuse, alcohol dependency. He stated clearly that no financial amount justifies that future cost.
In his lower jaw.
Oh, you can show.
Here, look.
Science.
So science is right there and there.
Body language specialists and sports psychologists went deeper, creating uncomfortable viewing experiences. They analyzed Jake's final ring moments in detail, examining eye movement, posture changes, hesitation patterns. They identified genuine fear, physical exhaustion, and complete helplessness. Not manufactured drama fear, actual threat recognition, where your body understands it's completely outmatched before conscious thought catches up. They described how trapped he appeared, how his movement transitioned from tactical choices to pure instinctual reactions. Strategy disappeared completely, replaced by survival panic mode.
But whatever it is, it's not
enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
Because in so many of his fights, like the Nate Diaz fight, he gets tired in the later rounds. In the beginning, look.
Throughout all the analysis, one theme kept recurring. Money doesn't reverse brain damage. Wired jaws don't restore memory function. Large paychecks don't rebuild neural pathways. Rogan articulated what everyone was thinking. This is exactly how careers end tragically when people refuse acknowledging obvious reality.
Like, that's a killer. This is a weapon. So is it worth the money? I don't think any money is worth that. The brain, like we talked about this when I first came to VT.
While medical experts discussed long-term health implications, social media went completely wild. The mood shifted instantly. Shock transformed into celebration. Concern became mockery. Memes dominated timelines. Highlight clips played endlessly everywhere. People weren't just reacting to another loss. They were reacting to years of promotional buildup, finally meeting basic physics.
Less than a decade, he has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
Jake Paul, the fighter, disappeared while Jake Paul, the entertainment businessman, stepped forward. Marketing specialist, spectacle creator, viral content machine. Industry analysts acknowledged he promotes events better than he executes technique. That might have remained manageable if he embraced that role. Honestly, what made everything insufferable was pretending promotional success equaled competitive victory. The puncher's chance narrative got destroyed publicly and mercilessly. Analysts labeled it complete fantasy thinking. You don't get miraculous knockout opportunities against Olympic-level heavyweight champions who anticipate everything you're planning. That reasoning works in amateur situations and wishful thinking, not professional competition. Against someone like Anthony Joshua, physical advantages, precise timing, and extensive experience eliminate fairy tale outcomes immediately. As retirement discussions intensified, Jake's own communications made everything worse. One day he joked about fighting again within weeks. The next day he was posting surgical updates from hospital beds. Liquid nutrition, jaw stiffness, constant pain, metal wire installation. The messaging contradiction was impossible to ignore. You can't market invincibility while documenting recovery timelines publicly. Industry analysts started predicting what everyone already understood intuitively. This isn't a brief hiatus before returning. This represents either an extended pause or quiet, permanent retirement. The injury alone requires significant time. The complete absence of credible future opponents demands even more. There's no realistic pathway back to legitimacy after this level of defeat combined with that severity of documented damage. Behind closed doors, conversations turn much colder. Sponsorship deals examine risk assessments. Streaming platforms calculate liability exposure. Broadcasting networks study medical documentation instead of pay-per-view revenue projections. The entertainment value disappears when your product starts appearing fragile and unpredictable in dangerous ways rather than exciting ones.